You know how in the last few weeks everyone's talking about how it's the United Kingdom and Boris Johnson's government who are breaking international law up to a point where even Ursula von der Leyen is about to sue Britain, even though we haven't actually broken any law. We've simply passed the Internal Market Bill, which is there to be used as a deterrent in case the EU break their own obligation when it comes to the Brexit treaty. In this video, we're going to actually expose the EU and reveal how they have actually broken international law with Brexit, but also give you a list of examples of when the EU have historically broken international law to help you in case you counter any Remainer who's going to be arguing against Brexit. Before we start, I want to apologize. As you can see, I'm not in the office today. It's Saturday, so apologies for the poor quality with the camera and the audio. But let's keep going because this is still important. We have to make this video and talk about the truth. So let's start with what's happening with the Internal Market Bill. So you know Boris Johnson's government have now passed this bill, which is in case the EU break their obligations, which they already have, we can actually use this as a deterrent to make sure that Northern Ireland and the rest of the UK remain united as one country, United Kingdom. They haven't actually done anything, even though the EU have decided to take us to court. And by court, we mean the European Court of Justice. So the reality is that the Internal Market Bill isn't necessarily breaking any law at this point. If it's implemented, yes, it is against the treaty that's been signed between the EU and the UK. But according to the Article 184 of the withdrawal agreement itself, it requires that the EU negotiate a satisfactory future relationship that respects the UK sovereignty using good faith and best endeavours. So that's the first thing. The whole point of it was that when they signed the withdrawal agreement, both sides, was that good faith was that they both aim to sign an actual free trade agreement. Whereas the European Union haven't actually done that. And we're going to talk about the examples and the evidence that shows that the EU haven't followed what they were supposed to be doing. They said, back in 2017 and 18, the EU, they offered us a Canada-style Brexit trade deal. And even when they signed the withdrawal agreement, initially with Theresa May and then a revised version with Boris Johnson, the aim and good faith was for both sides to aim to get a Canada-style trade deal. Now they're changing their mind. That's the first thing that when it comes to breaking their own obligations and good faith. Second, when it comes to level playing field, as part of the withdrawal agreement, it's there for both sides to respect each other's sovereignty. Now, the UK sovereignty as one independent nation, and the European Union's fake sovereignty because the EU is not a real country, but they pretend to be one European state, but we still have to respect their sovereignty. So level playing field, which is there for the European Union as a protectionist bloc. If you sign a trade deal with them as a partner, they are forcing the UK to go with their standards and their regulations, which means we're not really an independent country. We won't be able to sign actual free trade deals with other countries like the US or Canada or Australia or any other else, because if we sign a deal with a different country, we have to say, oh, unfortunately, you have to go with EU regulations because we're still part of it, thanks to the level playing field. Not good faith. Second, well, technically third, if apart from Canada, is that when the European Union have historically negotiated and signed potential or proper trade deals with other countries, whether it is Japan, Canada, or other countries as well, they didn't do this. They didn't demand level playing field in this respect. They didn't demand, they didn't offer a fake style or any kind of format when it comes to a trade agreement and then change their mind. Whereas when it comes to the United Kingdom, they have these weird demands. Next, when it comes to equivalence and the financial sector, the European Union, in the withdrawal agreement, both sides have agreed that by June 2020, they will both finalize the agreement on financial sector, financial services, and equivalence, which will basically make it easier for banks and other financial firms to operate both in the UK and in the rest of the continent. Now, the EU are saying that, well, June has gone already. Now they're saying that let's discuss this in the future, in 2021. Where's your good faith, EU? Next, this is the whole situation with the way they've done it. Fisheries and UK waters and our borders. So when it comes to fisheries, they have decided that international waters is no longer to be respected because they still want to have full access to UK waters. They want to have French fishermen and the Dutch and the others to continue having full access without any obligations or any negotiations for the foreseeable future, at least. Not good faith. Now, let's talk about historically. This is not the first time that the EU have broken international law. And by international law, we're talking about the obligations that people and partners, countries have when it comes to agreements, treaties. International law is not some sort of, it's not the same as domestic law where you have certain guidelines and if you break it, the police will come and knock on your door. It's simply about international treaties. They did this. They broke international law in terms of the relationship that they had when it came to the 2017 general election in the UK between Theresa May and Jeremy Corbyn, because they interfered when it came to our election. They not only they funded the pro-Remain campaigns, whether it was during the 2016 election, but also the 2017 election with the Liberal Democrats and other campaigns, but also they made comments, just like what Barack Obama did as US president during the 2016 referendum. This was against our international partnership with the European Union. Next, another example was only a few years ago when Spanish officers were searching British diplomatic bags at the border between Spain and Gibraltar. Again, Gibraltar is part of the United Kingdom, and at this point, the Spanish government decided not to respect that and the boundaries, and the European Union obviously backed the Spanish government. That's not how we do things when it comes to diplomacy. Next, recently, during the economic crisis and the health crisis that's been happening since March and April in Europe, the European Union decided to come up with this emergency fund financial package to help the European countries. And without any accountability or any transparency, they decided to do this. Even Germany and Merkel, who are one of the big players, let's just say, in Brussels, the German Constitutional Court ruled against the European Union because they said that the German sovereignty is above the European Court of Justice. What do you think the European Union did? They punished Germany. They made a move against the German Constitutional Court. They said that you have no right. EU law is above the German law. In reality, that's not true. It's another example of the European Union crossing legal boundaries. Another example. Around 40 French boats were claimed a while ago to have confronted around a dozen British vessels. This is the whole battle of international waters, and this was near the Normandy coast. UK fishermen were calling for the Royal Navy to protect them. Why? This is, simply before the actual full Brexit were to happen, and even when we were still a member of the EU, countries in Europe acknowledge that technically speaking, each member are still sovereign and they still have their own democracies, not according to France and the French government. Another one, even the United States complained to the WTO, the World Trade Organization, to complain about the European Union breaking laws because of the EU subsidies to Airbus. That broke WTO rules. Another example of the European Union crossing legal boundaries and no one in the media kicking off. Nobody in Brussels, whether it's Euronews or international outlets, or even the BBC, talking about any of this. Finally, the WTO determined that the European Union's ban on US beef imports violated its international trade obligations, again according to WTO. The EU failed to live up to assurances to address this issue, and it's now time to take action. This is according to Ambassador Froman. Today's action, this is obviously a while ago, holds the EU accountable and is an important step in encouraging the Commission to come back to the table to ensure that American ranchers have access to Europe's market and that European consumers have better access to high quality US beef. They still broke the international obligations. This is the European Union, and I wanted to show you this video to give you the actual facts about how the EU have broken their own obligations when it comes to the Brexit Treaty, but also historically across the world with their own partners. Thanks for watching. Make sure to share this video. Click on the like button so that everyone actually is aware of what's been happening in this continent. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and become a member and become a supporter to get extra perks and benefits. A quick reminder to everyone, we have obviously our new segment, which is the video message Q&A. Obviously on Mondays, the members of the channel have the chance to send us the questions that they have via text, basically comment in the comment section, and we'll reply to them. But for everybody else who are not members, you can still send us your video message. A still for video, up to 20 seconds max. Quick question, not a Robert Peston speech. You can find the details in the description box because you could send it either via WhatsApp, we've got a number there, or just send us an email, and I will answer your questions in one of the videos next week. Thanks again for watching. I'm Tousi, and I'll see you guys in the next video.